Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share the show is the most powerful thing you can do if you really like it. Let's read this news. You may have heard. Wow, amazing. From timcast.com, Biden urged Afghan president to change the perception of Taliban's imminent victory, Reuters reports. New details are emerging from the final phone call between U.S. President Biden and the Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, with reports claiming Biden urged the foreign leader to change perceptions that the Taliban was winning the war. The call took place on July 23rd. On August 15th, Ghani fled the presidential palace and the Taliban entered Kabul. Since then, tens of thousands of desperate Afghans have fled and 13 U.S. troops have lost their lives, scores of Afghan civilians. Here's a quote from Biden. I need not tell you the perception around the world and in parts of Afghanistan, I believe, is that things are not going well in terms of the fight against the Taliban. And there is a need, whether it's true or not, there is a need to project a different picture. We will continue to provide close air support if we know what the plan is, Biden told Ghani. You clearly have the best military. You have 300,000 well-armed forces versus 70 to 80,000, and they're clearly capable of fighting well. So it sounds like a lot of lies coming out of the White House in these past few weeks. We didn't know it was going to happen. They knew it was happening then. On July 1st, they abandoned Bagram Air Force Base. That's been like the centerpiece of this big story and the scandal as to what went down, because they didn't just hand off. Here's what should have happened, in my opinion. And you know, maybe I'm wrong because I'm not a military guy. The Biden administration could have said, all right, it's currently May. By July 1st, we will leave, which gives us a month to get in some Afghan security forces, Afghan National Army, to start replacing the people who run the Air Force Base so that you can properly take it over, have the logistics, and then start dealing with the Taliban should they come in after we leave. Instead, in the middle of the night on July 1st, they turned the lights off, cut the power, and fled without telling anybody. And civilian looters busted in. And then when the Afghan army found out, they went in and tried and secured it and arrested people. But you got to imagine, by July 23rd, about 3 weeks before the fall of Kabul, when the president of Afghanistan is like, yo, Biden, we need some air support. They already abandoned the Air Force Base without telling them. And Biden's like, yeah, we'll provide you with air support. Just keep telling everybody you're winning. So to me, kind of sounds like the plan, man.
It's indeed the plan, but you got to wonder, that's the plan from Biden's perspective. You got to wonder where the lies start, right? Does the lies start all the way down with, yeah, we just trained these 4 new recruits to the Afghan security forces, and they're great. They're doing a great job. And those lies just multiply and add up and build up and add up and build up to where Joe Biden is like, hey, we really have 300,000 troops there. They're really going to be helpful for you. You're fine. 300,000 versus 80,000. It's fine. I mean, that's the intel that he's getting. Look, I am not a Joe Biden fan. I'm not defending Joe Biden. The guy needs to be put into a nice, comfortable rocking chair with a blanket over his lap and a nice book in his lap if he can read, and a cup of tea and the whole thing. Somebody pat him on the head every once in a while, tuck him in, wipe his nose.
Sponge baths.
Yes. Well, I'm not volunteering or sicking that on anybody, but like it's compounding lie after 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 lie. And, really, the president is a guy that's up there playing Risk. He's got the board. He's got the pieces. He can only depend on the information that he's been giving. And it's, from my perspective, it seems like the entire military industrial complex is just filled with liars, scoundrels, and thieves who are not doing their job.
But they want war.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So are you saying that, Biden wanted to withdraw, and so it's the military industrial complex that screwed it up and gave him bad info, or what do you mean?
I think that when you've got Biden and his team and the wokeified apparatus that's now taken over everything, their focus is always on the wrong thing. They're always focused and they're putting their attention on the wrong thing. So whenever they take action, it's the wrong action. Because their focus is on wokeness. It's on, making sure that the, what are my words I can't say over here, making sure that the army is diverse enough, making sure that they're dealing with white rage and these things. And they're not making sure that the facts and the information that they're getting are accurate. And so they're just taking these things at face value. Basically, you can't take anything at face value anymore. Nothing.
But is it lies or is it collapse, right? So I'll put rot. Imagine the military is a bunch of, you ever see that meme where it's like 2 people standing on a cliff and it's like a beautiful city and they're hugging, and then holding the cliff up is a bunch of soldiers that are like bleeding, and one guy's pointing a gun and they're holding it up. Yeah. It's making a point about how this comfort and this luxury is based on it. So imagine that support structure of all of these dudes holding up society. Not that I'm a fan of the Afghan war by any stretch of the imagination, but you start corrupting and rotting those support beams, and they start just writhing and falling and collapsing, and then eventually the structure loses support, the whole thing falls down. Yep. So is it really lies, or is it Here's the way I see it. And I'll do a side note here. We got a video removed. We got a strike on TikTok because
On TikTok.
Yeah.
on TikTok because I said in a video, it's clear Biden is in charge. That there are no adults in the room, and that when Biden's talking in these meetings and says stuff, people just go along with whatever he says and don't challenge him. He's got sycophants and bureaucrats who don't want to stick their neck out, and Biden's clearly not with it. And so we got to strike for that. But I stand by that. I think what's happening is you've got, Kamala, Milley, other people, right? The National Security Advisor, you've got Jen Psaki, and they're like, I'm not saying anything. It's like Joe Biden walks in, he sits down, and we heard him say, Trina on a shot of pressure on TV. What do you think he's saying in private?
Right.
When he's sitting there and they're all sitting around him, and he's like, Kabul, Kamaja Baden, do it. And they're like, whatever you say, Joe. And they just walk out shrugging.